From Harlem Grooves to global mogul The Ascent of P Diddy, Sean Combs. You might know him as Puffy, or Puff Daddy, or P Diddy, or even Brother Love for a hot minute. It's a lot of names, almost like he was trying to collect them all. This is the man who didn't just walk into the music industry, he pretty much kicked the door down and threw a party. Born in Harlem, his journey from an ambitious young intern at Uptown Records to a global icon is the stuff of legend. Or at least, it used to be the kind of legend everyone wanted to believe in without too many questions. He had the drive, the vision, and an uncanny ability to spot talent and, perhaps more importantly, to market it and himself relentlessly. He wasn't just about the music, he was about the brand, the lifestyle, the whole shiny package. Then came Bad Boy Records in the early 1990s. This wasn't just another record label, it was a cultural phenomenon. Think about it. The Notorious Big, Craig Mack, Faith Evans, Ma Dollar E, 112, Total. The list goes on. Bad Boy didn't just produce hits. It defined a whole era of hip-hop and R&B. Puffy was the maestro, conducting a symphony of beats, rhymes, and a very specific kind of flashy, aspirational cool. He had his finger on the pulse of what was next, and for a long time that pulse beat in time with chart-topping success. He wasn't just in the background, he was often front and center, dancing in the videos, ad-libbing on tracks, making sure you knew who was running the show. The influence of Bad Boy Records, and by extension Puffy, stretched far beyond just the Billboard charts. It shaped fashion with its shiny suits and unapologetic opulence. It influenced language and attitudes. It took hip-hop from the streets and catapulted it into the penthouses, making it a dominant force in global pop culture. Artists like the Notorious Big became more than just rappers. They became icons, their stories and lyrics resonating with millions. Mary J. Blige, though not exclusively Bad Boy, found her early footing and image significantly shaped by her association with Combs, defining the queen of hip-hop soul persona. This was an empire built on a new sound and a new level of swagger. But Sean Combs was never just going to be a music guy, was he? Oh no, his ambition was always bigger than the recording studio. He launched the Sean John clothing line, which became a massive success, winning awards and making him a serious player in the fashion world. Then came the ventures into spirits with Kirok Vodka, television production, and even acting. He transformed himself from Puffy the producer to Diddy the multifaceted entrepreneur, a business mogul whose empire spanned across industries. He was the embodiment of the started-from-the-bottom narrative, a testament to hustle and reinvention, constantly evolving and expanding his reach and, of course, his fortune. The gathering storm federal investigations and shocking accusations. For many years, Sean Combs seemed untouchable, a permanent fixture in the celebrity stratosphere. But as 2023 drew to a close, the narrative began to shift, dramatically and darkly. Allegations that had perhaps simmered beneath the surface for years started to boil over, gaining mainstream attention and a disturbing level of detail. The shiny facade of the Diddy empire began to crack under the weight of increasingly serious accusations. What started as whispers and rumors slowly solidified into formal legal challenges, painting a starkly different picture of the man who had once been celebrated primarily for his Midas touch in music and business. It was clear a storm was not just brewing, it was making landfall with considerable force. Then came the federal hammer. As of early 2025, Sean "Diddy" Combs found himself in a position few could have imagined, reportedly in jail awaiting trial on a trio of severe federal charges. We're talking transportation for prostitution, sex trafficking, and racketeering with conspiracy. These aren't just minor missteps. These are accusations that carry the potential for decades behind bars, fundamentally altering any public perception of his life and career. The gravity of these charges laid out by federal prosecutors signaled that this was far beyond a celebrity scandal. It was a serious criminal matter with profound implications, suggesting a pattern of alleged criminal activity rather than isolated incidents. Throughout this escalating crisis, Combs has vehemently denied all the charges leveled against him. His legal team has been vocal, asserting his innocence and fighting back against the accusations. One of the defense strategies that emerged was the claim that Diddy was being singled out because of his race, a powerful assertion in a country with a complex history of racial injustice within its legal system. They even petitioned for one of the charges to be dismissed based on these grounds. This defense adds another layer to an already complicated and deeply troubling situation, forcing a consideration of systemic issues alongside the specific allegations against the individual. The federal charges, while monumental, are reportedly just one part of a much larger tapestry of legal woes. Combs is facing multiple lawsuits from a range of individuals, with some accusations of sexual assault and misconduct stretching back as far as 1991. This timeline suggests a long history of alleged behavior that is only now coming fully to light. The scope is broad, with claims including the alleged kidnapping, drugging, and coercion of women into sexual acts, sometimes reportedly involving the use of firearms or threats of violence. It's a barrage of accusations that paints a picture of alleged abuse of power on a significant scale, spanning decades of his career.
One of the things that I'm constantly wondering is just how
A reckoning in real time, the Cassie Ventura case and its fallout. Among the many accusations, the lawsuit filed in late 2023 by his former girlfriend, singer Cassandra Ventura, known professionally as Cassie, acted as a significant catalyst, bringing the simmering concerns about Combs' conduct to a boiling point. Ventura's lawsuit was explosive, accusing Combs of a decade-long pattern of rape and violent abuse. The details were harrowing, alleging a sustained period of control and physical harm. This wasn't an anonymous accuser. This was a well-known figure from his own musical orbit, someone who had been in a public long-term relationship with him, making the allegations resonate with a particular chilling impact and opening the floodgates for further scrutiny. What happened next was almost as shocking as the lawsuit itself. Just one day after Cassie Ventura filed her damning complaint in November 2023, the case was settled for an undisclosed sum. While settlements can happen for various reasons, the speed of this one raised many eyebrows. Combs, through his representatives, maintained his innocence, stating that the settlement was not an admission of wrongdoing. However, for many observers, the rapid resolution did little to quell the disturbing questions raised by Ventura's detailed allegations. Instead, it seemed to intensify the focus on Combs and the nature of the claims against him, leaving a cloud of unanswered questions hanging heavy in the air. Then, in 2024, came the video. Previously unseen CCTV footage from a hotel hallway in 2016 surfaced, and it was, to put it mildly, damning. The footage appeared to show Combs physically assaulting Ventura, grabbing her, throwing her to the ground, and kicking her repeatedly while she lay motionless. For many, this visual evidence was a horrifying confirmation of the types of abuse alleged in Ventura's lawsuit, and by other accusers. It's one thing to read allegations in court documents, it's another entirely to see such violence play out on screen. The video circulated widely, sparking outrage and making it much harder to dismiss the claims as mere fabrications. The impact of Cassie's lawsuit and the subsequent video footage continued to reverberate, especially as trial proceedings involving Diddy got underway. Reports from early 2025 indicated that jurors in one Diddy-related trial were shown this very 2016 assault video. Furthermore, Cassie Ventura herself reportedly testified, detailing her claims of abuse and blackmail. In a particularly poignant moment, she allegedly stated she would return a reported $20 million settlement to undo freak-offs, a term that has become associated with alleged coerced sexual encounters. Her testimony brought a raw, personal dimension to the legal proceedings, directly confronting Combs with her experiences. Legacy on the line, trials, public opinion, and an uncertain future. The Cassie Ventura case, while pivotal, was far from the only legal storm Diddy was navigating. As authorities delved deeper, further troubling details emerged. For instance, police raids on Diddy's Los Angeles mansion reportedly uncovered drugs. But perhaps more bizarrely, they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, described in media reports as supplies allegedly intended for use in orgies, sometimes referred to by the disturbing term freak-offs. These details, sensational as they are, added to the deeply unsettling portrait being painted by the numerous allegations, suggesting a lifestyle far removed from the polished public image he had cultivated for decades. More lawsuits continued to pile up, each adding new layers to the complex web of accusations. The legal fight is undeniably complex and ongoing as of early 2025. Diddy has entered not guilty pleas to various claims, including charges related to forced labor, demonstrating his intent to contest the accusations vigorously. There have also been shifts within his legal defense team, with high-profile attorneys like Anthony Rico and Tony Busby reportedly withdrawing from representing him in some of the cases. Such changes can often signal turbulence or strategic realignments in a high-stakes defense. The sheer number of legal fronts Diddy is fighting on suggests a protracted and incredibly costly battle, both financially and reputationally, with every development scrutinized by the public and media alike. The ripple effects of these allegations have extended beyond just Sean Combs himself. Lawsuits have reportedly named other celebrities, though Diddy has denied all related claims in those instances. The mention of figures like Beyoncé and LeBron James in connection with a lawsuit, even if tangentially, shows how wide the net of implication can be cast in such high-profile cases. In court, Diddy's defense team has also been actively working to challenge the credibility of accusers, for example, by questioning alleged inconsistencies in the testimony of singer Dawn Richard, formerly of Danity Kane. These courtroom confrontations highlight the adversarial nature of the legal process. Ultimately, the explosive developments and shocking allegations have cast an undeniable shadow over Sean Diddy Combs' entire life story. The man who built an empire on beats, branding, and relentless ambition now finds his legacy teetering on the brink. Regardless of the eventual verdicts in his various legal battles, the sheer weight and severity of the accusations have irrevocably altered public perception. This saga forces a broader cultural reflection on fame, power, accountability, and the often dark undercurrents that can exist beneath even the most glittering surfaces of success. The final chapter of Diddy's story is still being written, but it is already a cautionary tale of a monumental fall from grace.